like a machine. In the game we're clean, we're so keen. Hours in the sky, chasing that dream. That dream, obelisk high, we rock the scene. Capturing shrines while taking what's unseen. On the arc, we're kings, we're supreme. Never seen the limits in a way we evergreen.
Time grows very interesting. We will go clean the crown.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down our crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more best than sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting down. Run and charge and calculate the power we bring. Running like a panther, hear the battle sing. We're blazing through the ranks on the move and swing. With might in our hearts to take everything. Everything pillars rise as we claim our throne. For victory, we've already grown. On the field we fight, we overthrow the known. Nothing stop us, ain't no way we stand alone.
Time grows very interesting. We will go clean the crown.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down our crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more best than sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting death.
From the desert altar to the desert outpost, we crave more. With every sweet stride, we will arrive. We're opening the door. So here's to the grind.
We'll tear it down. There's nothing they can never do to take down our crown. And we will pop them down and make the drum sound. There's something inside more best than sneaking around. Now watch the ice still. We're fighting death. Yeah, we're fighting death.
What is going on, governors? Chiscool here, and today I'm joined by Cortex to cast Ark of Osiris League, and we're in the semifinals. Cortex, I believe where you are, it's good afternoon. If you're where I am in the world, good morning. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Again, a pleasure to be here, and I really, really appreciate the opportunity to be able to cast this game with you, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. It's really outstanding to have this opportunity to cast on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel for the semifinals. And in the semifinals, we've got a pretty exciting matchup today. All right. We've got the team that ultimately eliminated the team from my kingdom battling this week. That is OWR. And they're going to be battling against 75 DC. Cortex, what do you think people need to know about these teams that are going to slug it out in just a few minutes here?
Yeah, no, obviously, this is a very, very high stakes match. It's a semifinal of Osiris League. Both teams are looking extremely good. I mean, each team taking out a team from 2377 each, right? Like, I mean, 75 DC took out AO77 earlier, and recently, in a very impressive victory, OWR took out GV77. So I think both these teams are looking really, really good in this Osiris League, and I really can't wait. And it's going to be a huge showdown, I think. So, yeah.
So I'm looking here. 75 DC took out E68, and they took out AO77, which is the team. Dude, it's like both of the teams that made it to this point have eliminated the teams from my kingdom.
Yes.
So they should be very strong and fun to spectate. And I generally feel like...
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, AO77 is a very strong team, I know myself. I mean, I play in 60MX, and we had a very, very close game against AO77. So the fact that 75 DC took them out, and OWR obviously beat GV77 in a convincing fashion last week, I think both teams are looking really, really impressive, and I think it's going to be a great game today.
Yeah. Now, folks may not know this, but you are on the 60MX team.
Correct.
And so as I am looking on my screen at the scoreboard of the AO77 versus 60MX match, that was a 2,000 point game. Very, very
Yes,
close.
it was a very, very close game.
So these teams are really, really good. And we are looking at an incredibly close bracket for the finals here. Like, I think these games are all going to be really competitive. The funny thing is that you go to play immediately when this match has concluded, right?
Well, I have an hour.
Okay, you have an hour. Okay. Oh yeah, it's
yes.
15 UC. All right, yeah, you have a little bit of time. I was like, do we need to rush you off of the stage after the match?
No, I'll be okay. I'll make it in time. So no worries there. But yeah, I do have a game later.
Got it. All right. So that's just, by the way, in the realm of Horus. There's a bunch of matches being cast now on the official channel. So if you aren't already subscribed, consider smashing the subscribe button. And let's get a peek here. We've got only a few minutes before we jump into the match. So for those of you that are new to spectating Ark of Osiris League, you place some Oryx and you're like, all right, we're in these final matches. I really want to see if I'm going to get the payoff here. There is a 5-minute window of delay between when the match has actually started and when we can start spectating. And that is to maintain the competitive integrity of the event. Now, that delay used to be a lot longer. It used to be like a 12-plus minute delay. Now it's a 5-minute delay, which definitely makes for better spectating. So in about 30 seconds here, we can enter into the match. Now, Cortex, there is a little bit of a power differential between these teams. I mean, when I say it out loud, it kind of sounds like a lot, like 500 million. Is that actually a meaningful power difference, or like really not at all?
No. In Osiris League, I don't think it really matters all too much because, I mean, at least at this level of competition, even if they run out of troops, these teams will be committed to healing their troops in order to win the victory, right? So, yeah, I don't think it's going to play a massive difference.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I believe we can enter the match now. So I'm going to do that. And once I'm in, we're going to swing it on over to the match screen. We'll be right there. All right. We've got the 3-minute countdown for battle prep. Are there any noteworthy players that you know from either of these
on the
kingdoms?
75 DC side, well, you can see him straight spearheading the team over here. Peaky Peanut, a really, really big player and also a really great guy. So it's going to be exciting to see him. You can see him at the front on the 75 DC side. And over on the OWR side, personally, I don't really know that many people, but I do know there's a group, the ST group, which has been around for quite a while. And they're also very, very strong players and a really, really good group. So it's going to be a good showdown for sure.
So, okay. Something I've been talking about a bunch is the capture of obelisks at the start of the match.
Right.
Are we still expecting shenanigans at the start of the match? Or should these teams have solutions in place such that you really can't snowball the match at the start by taking an obelisk?
I feel like these teams should have solutions in place to prevent that from being a thing. But you never know. I mean, the team from my kingdom, 60 GT, it happened to them in top 16. Their first ever, I believe, regular OL season loss ever came to that, right? So you never know. It can happen to anyone. But I do expect these teams to have countermeasures for such tactics.
Yeah, I mean, so while we're talking about it, what do you? Well, I don't want you to reveal what, like, your team's strategy is, but like, what are some appropriate countermeasures? Like, I would think leaving more people at the obelisk at the start is a trade-off that's worth taking.
Yes, I mean, to be safe, you can stay back further. You cannot push up as far, and sort of, if that's something you're worried about, then you can play a bit more defensive at the start of the game rather than be aggressive and try to get more structures. Yeah. Now, that can also hurt you if you keep more marches back, and let's say you lose a fight that you're on Desert Altar, or you won't have as many people to push the enemy Sky Altar. on that side of the map. But if that's something you're worried about, and if that's something you think can swing the game, then obviously it's better to do that than lose your obelisk and potentially lose the game because of that.
Exactly. Right? It's a risk versus reward situation.
Right.
Right? Like if you stay back but the enemy doesn't push, then they have an advantage. Trade-offs, baby. All right, here we go. The match
Gets her
begins. We'll find out soon enough. There's Energetic for 75 DC.
Energetic.
Okay.
For both sides.
Energetic mirrored on both sides decreases the chance we're going to see this obelisk play at the start, right?
No, you still do use energetic. That's how you get the points, I believe, for the master strategy. If that's what they're going for.
Okay.
But
they can still do
looking at the lines out of base from both teams, it looks very standard, and it looks like they are going to buildings. There are a few marches pulling through the middle of the map, as you can see. But other than that, it looks pretty standard.
Yeah, it is funny how much information you can get from the first seconds just by looking at, like where are the lines going? Reading the tea leaves, as it were, Rise of Kingdom style. They swing around here. They did drop a few of the sentries down. They've got observation in a number of locations. Actually, no, I take it back. Is it just OWR who's placed one? Toward this obelisk, of all places.
Yes.
Oh no, there is one.
75 DC has a sentry on the gate of OWR.
Yeah. On the
To see where
topic
they're
of...
going, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
right?
seeing if
Like,
there's any funny shenanigans.
if I would make the comment, look how much information I got by, hearing you describe where the lines are going and predicting, then like, yeah, they want that information and they bought it.
Yes.
And they bought it with
And
vision.
I think maybe what they've scouted, because I assume all these people are scouting, all these teams are scouting the other teams at this level of play. So, as you can see, OWR have a few marches heading towards the middle of the map to presumably, go for some sort of outpost play or maybe even a Shrine of War play. And it seems like 75 DC has scouted this out with their vision cone and have a few people of their own heading towards the middle of the map to try to maybe contest that.
Yeah, a little bit of counterplay, perhaps, is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And you are right. At this level of play, you would expect some amount of scouting of what the opponent has done in the past. Okay, so if we're not seeing any obelisk shenanigans, and I don't think that we are we? I don't know. I think a couple people... Oh, maybe it's scouts going to that obelisk. Okay. Peeking. Rallies in. They get into this thing. I mean, if you can get your rally to land, get a garrison captain in there, you're a lot of the way to safety at that point.
Right. Yes. As long as you make sure you stick around and there's no T1 march sneaking around, and you keep your T1 march in there and the rally is there with the garrison, you should be safe.
Shouldn't actually be possible.
No.
To take an obelisk with the right level of preparation.
Right.
Unless, I don't know, like what can you send like wild card strategy, just send the whole team to the obelisk?
You could.
Yeah,
but and just fully sack one side of the map. But won't you just lose your obelisk on the other side of the map?
You'd have to take your own obelisk as well, so you couldn't like fully send.
Yes.
You like take your ob, forget all the other structures, take their ob. But you do just win. I don't know. It's like that's one of those strategies you'd only actually run if you were very confident you were gonna lose. So you just the equivalent of the Hail Mary. Right?
Which I believe was 3379's strategy against GT, right? Speaking of obelisk plays. They knew that they had to do something just completely crazy in order to win that game. And they did, and it worked, and they're through to the semifinals, so...
Right.
And knocked out probably the most successful Osiris League team in the history of the game, right? So...
It illustrates something I've said for a long time, which is that you need to play to win rather than play to not lose. And like playing to win meant they needed like half a dozen really unlikely things to all be true. And like sometimes it just works out that way.
And you do need to play to win. And it worked out for them in that game. And I mean, all the credit to them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, TPs are coming in here on both sides of the map.
Yep,
both
I've got
obelisks.
eyes here on fight.
There is a rally on the top side, 75 DC obelisk, which looks like the rally is winning right now. So if they don't do something about that, that could become an issue. They have a march heading to reinforce it right now.
Oh, I see. Oh.
That obelisk is
Oh.
very low though.
Oh, they got somebody in there, though.
Other than that, right now it looks pretty standard in terms of structure splits.
Guy's going, it's Peanut on his way into the garrison. Gonna barely get in there. It's not gonna be enough.
No,
This is-
they need more reinforcements into this obelisk here.
Yeah. I mean, they're already
I don't
ported in,
think-
so it's like
Yes.
the end of the world, but...
No, I don't think it's gonna like be a game decider, but if they do capture obelisk, it's going to stall their next teleport round, right? Their next round of teleports, which can be quite impactful. But it looks like they got it under control here. Arvex is swarming down the rally, so they did defend it, but that was pretty close.
Yes. The many faces of Arvex. Oh my gosh. It's like the Spider-Man meme. We're all pointing at
Yes.
each other. Okay, so obelisk is secure. And it's funny that these days we spectate the obelisks more than we spectate the altars. It used to be back in the day we'd spend all our energy kind of looking at the altars at the start to see
Yeah.
how that aspect of the map broke.
Yeah, I feel like teams have figured out pretty good defenses on their altars now at the start of the game. And there are simple things like positioning, right? You don't want to actually fight the enemy on top of your altar. You want to fight them ahead of your altar, so they can't just walk to your altar and like 50-50, you know, who gets in first sort of thing. You don't want that. So I feel like teams have gotten a lot better at defending their altars at the start of the game. Although there are some teams pulling out some interesting strategies, such as overloading one side, right? And trying to put extra pressure on the side of on one altar at the start of the game. But right now it's looking pretty standard. Now we got 5 minutes until the arc is spawning, so we should see some rotations, especially from the non-teleporters start coming in. And we can see that from the 75 DC side and from the OWR side. So far, both teams are playing the game pretty standard, I would say.
Interesting to see calves all over this battlefield. I mean, you know, okay, on the field, not surprising at all, but you've got cav rallies and cav garrisons.
Yeah, it's just sort of the name of the game. They're just quicker, right? So you can get to places faster. The garrisons can get to the structures faster. You can refresh your garrisons quicker. The rallies are quicker. It's just about the tempo, right? So cavalry just happen to be the name of the game when it comes to Ark of Osiris.
That makes sense. The inherent march speed boost is super valuable. And because the open field marches are really, really good, that means you've got reinforcements for those rallies and garrisons. Which, as it turns out, really matters when you're using Attila, and you have to mono troop.
Yes. We can see Sentry placed for 75 DC in the middle here. No Sentry yet for OWR, so they're going in kind of blind into this mid fight right now.
Both teams, presumably contest mid in a major way here, and you can see, if you zoom out, a lot of armies making their way to the middle.
Yes.
In fact, the
from both
zoomed out
sides.
view does give a really nice overall picture of kind of what's happening.
Yes.
Some tussles
And-
by the altars, but the focus is going in the middle here.
Yeah, and for the opening strategies for both teams, it seems pretty similar. Both playing pretty defensive on their altars, no one doing anything crazy at the start. Obelisk almost went down in the favor of OWR, but it didn't end up happening, and both teams are heading to middle now with their non-teleported players from the starting zone, so it looks like a pretty standard game so far from both sides.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of funny, like, it's been a while, I feel, since I've cast a match where both teams look like they might actually just be running the same sort of a strategy. We'll
Right.
see how it differentiates with the skills. But this is the opposite of sometimes you need to make these huge plays and play to win rather than play to not lose. They both feel like, hey, if we run pretty standard stuff, like we hold our structures, take the arcs, we're going to win. And both of them feel like they can do that based on what we're seeing here, I think. We'll only know,
Yes.
I guess, in the next 5 to 10 minutes if one of them changes to a building strategy. But I think they've both got the same game plan, and it's a question of who's better at it.
75 DC do have the superior positioning in the middle here. They're here early. They have control of the Temple of Osiris right now, which is going to be tough to contest from OWR side of things. All structures still pretty standard. But yeah, the middle is going to be interesting here.
That's
As it
what I'm
seems like
kinda-
both teams are playing pretty... I mean, the points are basically dead even right now. Both teams are playing the structure game pretty closely.
Yeah, I've kind of like got eyes on the middle. This is where I
Yes.
think, the action's going to be. We're 2 minutes till
Oh,
arc
yeah.
spawn. We're now in that timeline where fighting for middle could make sense. Any earlier than about this time, and it gets kind of funky where you might be winning, but you started so early that the enemy can refresh to middle and rejoin the fight. So there's a balance of like, yeah, we're in the middle, we're here, we're ready, and actually being the right time to start that fight.
Exactly. There's a fine balance for sure, because we've seen in the past teams that engage too early in mid, they're like, oh, we got good positioning, let's kill them, But then what ends up happening is that they end up coming back to the middle, you're already low from having your previous fight with them, and it does not end very well. Sneaky Tactics being cast here by OWR. Sun Sailor by 75 DC, as we see both teams engage here. Sun Sailor, that's an interesting
Where's the
strategy.
Sun Sailor?
It's, next to the OWR outpost.
What are they up to? I mean, that's a
That's
a trick play, is it not?
And it's at... Oh, it's to go behind them in the middle, to have a flank angle.
I see,
That
okay,
is
I see the
interesting.
solar bark.
Now, the middle flight here is looking
Oh,
pretty
what
even
a...
right now, I'd
Wait,
say, but
I mean, I think
more
I
group
understand what they're
matches are starting
doing.
to emerge.
So they lose the mid fight. They solar bark behind them. How long do they have to do this,
though? What if OWR just take this arc to the other side of the map if they try to flank them? I don't know how this is gonna work. 75 DC captured the Desert Altar, and they're coming to flank from the Desert Altar side as well towards the middle now. This is a very interesting strategy. They're trying to make a flank play on the arc here. OWR do get the pick of the arc, and they have won the middle fight.
But
I think they might have overcooked this. I don't know what this is going to accomplish.
have players actually transported through this
No,
thing
no
yet?
one's used the Sun Sailor. No one's used it. They're
see
coming back out now of their starting area. Sneaky Tactics also being cast by 75 DC. Oh, wait. Okay, you can see where the Sneaky Tactics is, on the left side of the map. They're trying to sneak around to get towards the arc. But OWR can see where they cast the Sneaky Tactic if they're trying to make a flank play on the arc here. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. It's a very interesting strategy, because they did end up capturing the OWR's Desert Altar whilst doing this. So if they can also get the arc out of this somehow, then it is definitely a win for the 75 DC side. But I don't know if it's gonna work, and if it doesn't work, they just wasted a whole lot of points and still lost the arc. Which,
Yeah. OWR
It's
has
not
only
going to be
committed
great for
3
them.
points.
yes, whereas 75 DC has committed 8 points to this mid fight. Which means if this does not go their way, what they can do is they can cast no mark and play a structure game after this mid fight and have a huge point lead.
Oh,
And
Cortex.
have even
Look at the
even
marches
points here.
coming out of this
the
bark.
Sun Sailor. They're
Sun
coming.
Sailor.
Is this going to work?
Yes. I think it actually might work.
The OWR marches are very low in the middle. This might be a very extended and long fight coming out here for the Ark of Osiris, for the first Ark of Osiris, which is usually a very uncontested arc, which, like really just usually goes one way, and then the other team is kind of okay with it, and maybe they get a play on structures, and it's kind of a fine trade-off because the first arc does not give that many points.
Oh my gosh.
But it's all in for the first arc here from 75 DC. Now let's see how OWR respond to this. Will they cast some more skills of their own? Will they let will they let 75 DC have this, or how are they going to respond?
So ultimately what they've done with this play is they're solving the problem of distance and time. They
Yes.
said, okay, so if we were to intentionally lose the arc, do we get more advantage by bringing 50 fresh marches with a short walk time to fight a second time? And is that advantage bigger than if we just buffed up the marches we have? And I think that obviously their feeling here is that they'll do better if they can bring marches back. They're still coming through, which is actually insane. It says 50 out of 50 team members in teleport camp.
All right, so no more Sun Sailor can be used, but they have a lot of marches here now. OWR do have a shorter refresh time though.
I don't think
And
this works.
I feel like what happened is they kind of went in one by one, right, into OWR's ball. And so
Yes.
even though OWR had low marches, there's still like a lot of marches fighting a few marches at a time. But because you can see there are still fresh marches coming through the Sun Sailor. The last of them coming through now, and I don't think it's gonna work. So
No.
and 75 DC lost their Desert Altar to OWR. This play I feel really backfired. They spent 8 points on the mid fight. They lost their Desert Altar and they lost the Ark of Osiris to OWR's only 3 points spent. I feel like they really overcooked this play.
I think you're right. I really thought that it was going to work, but the issue was the trickle in.
Yes,
And of
I
course,
agree.
it's easy for us to observe what happened rather than,
Right.
cook up a play and forecast how it'll work out. But like,
Right.
what happened was because they trickled in and they were so constantly outnumbered, even though these marches were low, OWR pulls this off. And the crazy thing is, if OWR only used 3 points in the middle, why did they win middle by so much?
I don't think 75 DC sent a lot of marches to the middle initially, because we could see they made a play on the Desert Altar. They did capture the OWR Desert Altar during the middle fights. But then they tried the Sun Sailor and just kept sending. But as you said, they came trickling in and were very split, so it ended up not working out. And I guess because their timing of when they died in the middle was also split, right? They didn't all die at the same time, which then ended up the marches coming out of their base at different times as well through the Sun Sailor, and it just ended up really backfiring. And now OWR really are in the driver's seat, I would say. They can control the tempo of this game. They have control of the first arc. They can control when they want the next one to spawn. They also cost no mark here, which means they're going to get extra points from structures, and they're going to have a shorter capture time of structures. So OWR really have an opportunity here to really pull away in this game.
Yeah. Ark is now safely tucked away by the obelisk, so this is a very good situation for OWR. A bold play by 75 DC, but ultimately, I think what they needed for that to work was more commitment to the initial mid-fight, that those marches that were falling back from OWR would have been weak enough to overwhelm them with that trickle. And, if they had not guarded...
I think their idea was make them weak, but don't kill them, so that they can't refresh.
Right.
And then
right.
send through and flank and take it. And also get through the Desert Altar lane and try to get the Ark. It just ended up not working out because of the way they came trickling in, and the OWR marches were too healthy to the point where they could easily just smack people coming in one by one. And it ended up really backfiring for 75 DC.
I mean, I think it was a really cool play.
It was. I really like respect and commend the play. And I do think, especially it takes some cojones, right, to do this in a semi-final game. Like, you win this, you have a ticket to the final, right? This is your ticket to the final. To make a crazy play like that in the semi-final, I think takes a lot, and I really commend them for attempting the play. It just ended up really backfiring.
Yeah. The situations in which it would have worked would have been if OWR had not sent as much to the middle, if OWR had not escorted their arc with as much, if OWR had maybe gone the other way. Although, I don't know, can they see the Sunsailor location?
I believe they can. Now,
Well, if they could see
I've
it.
not played with Sunsailor, but I believe they can.
I mean, by show of hands, we got a bunch of people in the chat watching. Like, how many of you have actually deployed Sunsailor in Arc before? I think the answer is going to be very few.
Right. It did happen against us, actually, in our game against ULT in 60MX, in our last Osiris League game. But I do not recall if we could see it or not.
Yeah, so chat is saying they can see it since they can also use
They
it.
can.
I think it's a
Oh,
two-way.
right. That's how
right?
it works.
Like anybody could
Right.
use that
Thank
thing.
you, chat. Right. So yeah, both sides can see it and both sides can use it. Oh, that's probably because I did see outside of the gate of 75 DC that there were a couple OWR marches that were just hitting them as they were running through the Sunsailor.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess they can also waste the attempts, right? The marches that can be used teleporting through it.
I believe so.
Interesting.
It's funny. Like, both of us have played a lot of Arc, but we know so little about this particular skill because its use is so infrequent.
Yeah, it's a new skill, right? So I commend the idea, but it did not work out. It did not work out at all, and really have put 75 DC in a tough spot in this game, because the points are basically dead even right now. But the kicker is OWR has that arc as their obelisk, so they're in the driver's seat right now. And not only the points from the arc, but they can control the tempo of the game. They can control exactly when they want this next arc to appear, which is a really, really powerful tool to have in your arsenal.
So here's the thing, though. I mean, tempo's big. An arc worth of extra points is big. But an arc worth of points is actually recoverable.
Right, and as we can see here, the 75 DC has captured OWR, Desert Altar on the other side of the map over here. And also, they're making a push right now for the OWR Sky Altar. If they can get both altar plays here, that's going to be really, really huge for the side of 75 DC and can maybe help them recover the lost points from this arc.
I've been spectating this really impressive altar hold by 75. It's actually kind of insane how much they've held up.
75 DC in control of all 4 altars right now. All 4 altars under the control of 75 DC.
I mean, like I said, it's just one arc worth of points. It's recoverable.
It is definitely
4 altars is
recoverable.
insane.
And if they can hold these altars for a little bit of time without losing any of their own, they're in a very... I mean, I would say they're maybe back in it. Because they were in a really, really tough spot after that arc. But they might be able to pull it back here with these 2 altar plays, which is insane, by the way, being able to capture both enemy altars on both sides of the map simultaneously.
I love the chat reactions, by the way. Chat's like, it's over, GG. And then, 2 seconds later, 75 has all 4 altars. It's like, wait, hold up. It ain't over.
Now, OWR has taken control back of the Sky Altar over here. And they're working on getting control. But a very impressive push and hold of the enemy Desert Altar here by the side of 75 DC. As they're still holding onto it. It's almost ticking for points, actually, in 15 seconds over here. For the side of 75 DC.
Yeah, not
Now, it seems like...
quite gonna
will
make it
switch
to
back
points.
No.
Yeah.
It does swap back into the favor of OWR. But,
I mean...
and they also did score the arc right now. So they do have a 3,000 point lead. Now, it's gonna take them a couple minutes to get points taking back again for their own altars. I would say OWR still has a slight lead. And also, the important thing, I think, is that now 75 DC has showed their hand, right? If their play was this Sunsailor, they've showed this now. And OWR know that they have this in their arsenal, and that they might maybe attempt this again.
And if it's on the bar, you use it again as long as it's not on cooldown, right?
Right. But yeah, it's a very interesting game now. It's a very, very interesting game. I will
like
say
these...
this next arc is going to have a big impact on the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I like these skills that are very dynamic in nature, and I think that's what has happened with Ark as a game mode over the last couple years. When they added fog, it became a lot more dynamic. Now you don't have vision. Then you've got these skills. I mean, we talk about march speed being so important. Well, what if you don't have to march to where you're going? So you've got, you know, the solar bark that you can drop. You've got sneaky tactics. You've got, which is increasing your march speed. You've got master strategist, which is another like location change. I think these skills make Ark far more dynamic.
Yeah.
And, that's been a very welcomed sort of plot twist to the old style of, you know, you just grab the Ark and run it back over and over.
War drums and Mystic Formation to the death. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, how long was that metaphor,
great.
right? Go to the middle,
time.
smash the buttons, and hope you overpower your enemy.
Yeah, and especially also with the new and reworked Sneaky Tactics being only 3 points, it's become a really popular skill, which I would say most teams actually end up using Sneaky Tactics now. And also some interesting counters to it, such as the Desert Storm, right? Because if the troops in the Sneaky Tactics take damage, you can counter that. They get revealed, right? So you can counter that with the Desert Storm and place the Desert Storm on top of where the other team's Sneaky Tactics, which is like a bit of dynamic now added into the strategy of skills, which I think is a really, really welcome change.
Yeah, I do like the counterplay, although in general, I prefer questions to answers, which is something I've said in the sort of past to mean that, you know, while it's cool to have an answer to Sneaky Tactics, I'd rather be the one asking the sort of difficult questions of, you know, like, hey, my armies are invisible, or hey, I dropped a solar bark. Like, what do you think's going to happen here?
Right.
The other thing I will say is that although it is revealing the armies, which is powerful, when those armies come out of stealth from Sneaky Tactics, they get a damage boost, right? So
Yes,
that
a
aspect
50%
of
attack bonus, I do believe.
yeah, so that aspect of it is not countered by Desert Storm. So
Right.
it's like a partial counter, which is still really cool. You're right that there is.
It depends though,
counterplay
right?
in the
Because
skills.
if you expose them with it instantly and they're using Sneaky Tactics far away,
Yeah.
then that
Yeah.
damage bonus might fall off before they can actually go fight. Now,
Yeah.
looking at the provisions here, I can see from scouting, OWR do have a few marches provisioning, whereas over on the 75 DC side, I can see 1 or 2, but not nearly as many as over on the OWR side, which can, in a close game like this, play a big factor towards the end of this game.
We'll see.
So it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean provisions, man. Oh boy,
Provisions,
these
provisions.
altar fights have been very close. Incredible
Oh, yeah.
defense by both teams, actually. I'm looking now at the Desert Altar in the top lane. And
Yeah,
it's
also
just-
falling low again. This OWR Desert Altar has been a side of struggle, I would say, from the OWR side. It's fallen twice already, and it's in trouble again. But it looks like they're going to be able to hold on to it this time. Now we have the R coming up here in 3.5 minutes, almost 4 minutes. And we can see OWR are moving in early this time. Last time 75 DC was the earlier team, although they ended up losing that arc with their Sunsailor strategy. OWR are here early, and they look to make a play on the second arc here.
So they just used no mark. I think it was 75 that did it, right?
It was 75 DC that just used no mark, which might indicate, and as you can see, they also did just capture the 75 DC Sky Altar.
Yeah.
And this might indicate that maybe 75 DC are not interested in this arc and want to go for a structure play instead. Which can work in their favor. If they end up capturing both altars, having no mark running, that's a lot of points. Now, they're sending a small oh yeah, they're basically not sending to mid at all, as you can see. They have a couple marches, they're almost just scouting.
I mean,
But
we've seen them hold these buildings incredibly well. And if you, I mean, they just held 4 altars for almost 2 minutes. They were holding all 4 altars. So if you could do that in a game, that's a pretty good signal that a building strategy could be viable, right?
right, for sure.
I think they move in on this building strat, although they didn't get enough out of it last time.
No. They have a rally coming in now on the Desert Altar, although it is a bit unsupported. They don't have field right now with the rally. But they have a couple of Cao Cao marches and Belisarius marches moving up here with the rally, I presume to reinforce it.
Yeah, it's
And this Desert Altar on the OWR side is under pressure right now. It's getting swarmed. There's a rally on it. But I don't know about this strategy of fully abandoning the middle either. Because that means that OWR can kind of do whatever they want with these marches, and they are going to be fresh.
right.
Which
That's
means
the
that if
weirdness.
they want, they can go for a play on the 75 DC structures, or even use them to defend, because 75 DC are not contesting middle at all. Which, if I'm OWR right now and I see this, I'm saying, hey, we need to move from mid, we need to do something, we can't just sit here. We need to do something with our marches to
Right.
counter their building play. Now, 75 DC does have control of all 4 altars again.
Yep. And
If they can
it's
hold
a
on to this,
60-second
it's
capture
going
time
to be
now, right?
Yes, because of the no mark.
Yeah, that's a big deal. There's Desert Storm.
Oh, there's Sneaky Tactics and Desert Storm to counter it, yes. And as you can see, it reveals those marches immediately.
That worked
Did
out.
they try to
in-
go for a late play for the middle with the Sneaky Tactics here, 75 DC?
Not sure. I mean, it worked out in
what
almost
it-
like exactly the way we described.
Yes.
Where, like,
and
it's
those
countered.
marches are a bit low now, as you can see. All those marches that got hit by the Desert Storm, they're all quite low. All their HP bars have been chunked quite heavily.
I think they were trying to delay. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
they
think
were trying
maybe-
to capture it. Like the first time I
Wait, they're
saw
making
this,
a run for it on the left side. They're trying to run towards the temple.
yeah. I mean, the first time I saw this maneuver was, I think, 93. When they were using this tactic, I believe, to just delay the arc, and they'd have people sort of stagger their way out of invisibility to knock down the carrier.
Right.
So if their goal was to delay and then they all get revealed, what do you do?
Now, I don't know. Are they trying to just steal away the arc here? Maybe they were trying to bait OWR away from the temple by making it seem like they were not going for middle and making a last second play with Sneaky Tactics.
I don't know. I mean,
But
they're doing
I
so
feel
much
like
walking
all of their
around.
mid plays are like kind of been overcooked this game. The first arc and now the second arc. I don't really understand what they're trying to accomplish with these plays. It's not working out, and OWR are reading them really well and have counters to all their plays so far.
Yeah, I mean, Desert Storm. I mean, the funny thing is that the point cost is exactly the same.
Yes.
So the advantage they gained there was the damage onto those marches, and just it seems like they had a plan in 75 DC, but not a backup plan if they got revealed in this way. 'Cause I just don't know
Right.
how productive that was. What just happened there?
No. They still have control of all 4 altars, which is powerful, but
That's insane, actually.
that is insane that they have held all these altars for this long. But if OWR get the capture of this arc again,
1,157 points per minute. For 75
with
DC.
no mark, with no
Yeah,
mark,
who
it
cares
is
what's
absurd.
happening in the middle? That's
That
insane.
is true. That is insane.
That's-
So
that's-
OWR really do need to get these altars.
Yeah, they gotta get their buildings back. Like, they can only handle so many minutes of what's going on here.
Yeah. It is a very interesting thing going on here, because whilst these mid plays have been very strange and haven't really worked out for the side of 75 DC, they have made very good plays on the structure side of things, and with no mark, holding all 4 altars for minutes at a time. Now, speaking of, the Desert Altar does fall back into the favor of OWR here. And the Sky Altar as well. So altars
Yeah.
are back in order, and they have the arc, which again, as we spoke about earlier, not only does the second arc give them more points, it also again gives them the tempo advantage of being able to control the pace of the game.
This is such a interesting game to spectate.
And they also have a point lead again, right? Because 75 DC cost no mark and Sneaky Tactics, whereas OWR only cost Desert Storm this time, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Which means they're going to be ready for whatever happens next. I mean,
Right.
I
and
feel
they
like
can maybe even cast a no mark of their own, which I'm kind of surprised that they. I didn't actually see if they did or not, but I don't think they cast a no mark to capture back their own altars in a faster time, right? Which I think they maybe should have. Oh, it's probably on cooldown. It's on cooldown. What am I saying? It's on cooldown. The no mark is on cooldown. So unless they have time warp. Which I don't know.
right. I mean, I feel like looking at this match now, it's a little bit more clear what each team is trying to do. Like 75 DC is actually running a building strat. And
Yes.
they've got these like Hail Mary arc plays. And if any one of them works out, they might win the match.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Like, they're trying well, the first two arcs so far, they've tried some crazy, like, last-minute play and some, like, flanking play with the Sun Sailor. And whilst they're doing that, they have been capturing buildings. So the game is fairly close. OWR did instantly score this arc, and you can see it's only a 1,000 point lead right now for the side of OWR, so it's not a massive lead.
No, this is insanely close. Like,
It is a very close game.
it doesn't feel close. It feels like OWR is getting done whatever they want done. But that's not actually true at all when you look
No.
at the leaderboard.
Because of these altar plays that have been happening. And like you said, if one of these altar plays end up working out for the side of if one of these arc plays ends up working out for the side of 75 DC, they're in a really, really good spot if they're able to capture the structures and somehow steal away an arc. Now, we don't know what else they have on their bar yet, right? Do they have a master strategy? We don't know. They could try to make some teleport play as well. We have no idea. But it is a very interesting strategy that they're running right now on the side of 75 DC, and it's a very close game we have on our hands here.
Yeah, this is far closer than I think it originally looked. And it is somewhat remarkable when you recontextualize some of what they're doing. It is so deceptive that it took us a solid 30 plus minutes to figure out, like, oh, this is actually building strategy with some interesting twists for how to handle the middle, since they aren't
Right.
actually trying to get the arc.
Right.
And it's shockingly close. It's an 800 point game. Didn't
It's very,
feel like
very
an
close.
800 point game, did it?
No, it feels like OWR has been getting whatever they want done. OWR casting sneaky tactics here. Now, where is this sneaky tactics? It's over on the side of the desert altar, on their own desert altar.
Feels weird to me.
I think they're trying to defend it because it's under pressure right
Right.
now.
They're probably sitting at like 10 points.
And they're probably kept on points because
Yeah,
they
and they're
didn't
like,
use
we gotta
many
do
points
something.
for mid-fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were not grouped up for that. Not particularly well. Like, what I mean by that is normally if you're going to cast that, you group everybody up and it's pretty clear, that
Right.
that's about to happen.
It's just like, we need to use something, just use this.
Yeah, that's my
We'll
read
have-
on that.
And at the same time, we'll have full points for the next mid-fight, so...
Right. I think what's so interesting about this strategy from 75 DC is that, if it took us a while to figure out that this is actually a building strategy, I wonder when OWR figured out that it's a building strategy. Because once you
I
know
would
it's
say
a building
probably
strat,
about the same time that we did.
which would be really like good for 75 DC, bad for OWR, because to
Yes.
figure out only 40 minutes into the game what your enemy's strategy is, that's actually
Yeah.
a compliment to 75 DC with regard to how difficult
Because
it was
at
to
least-
read what they were doing.
Yeah, for sure. And at least to me in the first arc, it did look like that was like, okay, we really want to try to get this arc with this play. Now, I think, like, obviously that was their intention, but I don't think that was like, oh, if we don't get this arc, it's end all be all, right? Because they still captured altars, they did fine on structures, and especially during the second arc, I would say, they made a huge play on the structures, which really, really swung this game back into an even state, I would say.
Turns out 1,000 points per minute is a pretty big deal.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, as it turns out, that's a lot of points, and that really can sneak away from you. In fact, now it's a 700 point game. No, less, 600 point game. I mean, it's changing fast, man. Points per minute here.
Now, we do have the next arc coming up again. 75 DC is making a play on the OWR Desert Altar again. Now, it does not look like this is going to work out. They did flip the OWR Sky Altar, as that's ticking for OWR right now. So that's quite huge to disrupt the points on the OWR side over there. But in the middle, it seems like, again, OWR are heading in, but also this time, we do see more presence coming in towards the middle from 75DC.
I don't. Okay. Like, what's the game plan here for each of these teams going into this? What might be final arc? It probably will be final arc.
Yes, well, depends on what the team that captures it wants, right?
Yeah.
If OWR feel confident that they can get another arc and they're losing on structures, then maybe they want to capture that structure, right?
I mean, there's 3 minutes till arc spawn. It's probably 3 minutes to run the arc to wherever it's trying to go. Even if they capped it right away, then it's another 8 minutes or so till the new arc spawns in. I mean, it's cutting it close. There could be 2 arcs, though, still, right? It
It could
is
be
possible?
Yes, it is possible.
Okay.
It is definitely possible.
This is a fun game to cast, actually.
OWR are earlier. 75DC are sitting a bit back, but trying to look at marches coming into mid here, and does not look like there are. Well, 75DC have a lot of marches coming in towards the middle from their left side of the map, but almost nothing from the right side of the map.
Looking at this altar here, it's funny, we see Gorgo in the garrison. Powerful.
We do.
Anti-swarm, very popular.
We see a
over there.
Tokugawa as well in the Shrine of War over here on 75DC side.
Yeah, I did see some infantry in the garrisons. No archers, though.
No.
Archers. I mean, especially when the meta's calves, like, have to run archers. Okay, so OWR defends the Sky Altar, but with a very steep march count. It's a big cost to have that many marches committed to that.
Oh, for sure. So they are heading with more marches into the middle now on 75DC side, but they're a bit late. Although I don't see that many marches from the side of OWR either this time.
You know, I think the best part of the 75 DC strategy is that you actually have no earthly idea what they're going to do next.
We have no clue what's going to happen next. We have no
Seriously,
idea.
like, what are they going to do? I don't know. They're going to go buildings? They're going to go mid?
So it looks like OWR maybe tried to send a bit lighter to mid this time, maybe to try to not lose their... Well, and as we can see, actually, speaking of, OWR did capture the 75DC Desert Altar, so they actually ended up making a structure play this time around.
Huh.
Oh, to the death being cast on the side of OWR. Mid fight is engaging.
Okay, look into mid.
No side really has that many marches in mid. 75DC are pulling back from the to the death.
They just walk away from it. Oh, I haven't seen this work out in a long time, but I think it's a reasonable call.
One
sure,
player
they lose
got
a
caught
couple
out by
marches,
it, by the looks of things. But everyone else seems like they've been able to get away, although there is 50 minutes until the arc spawns. But if they can... Oh, no, it's tough. Look, they get stuck in this corner on the right. Time warp being used by 75DC. What are they gonna cost? No mark. By 75DC.
it is. They're going buildings.
But they've lost their own Desert Altar here, 75DC. That's still under control of OWR, and they're making a play on the OWR Desert Altar, but it does not look like it's going to work.
I mean, maybe they just don't have a good option on the bar for this moment. I'm not even kidding. Like, maybe it's like,
DC again in the middle. It looks very strange. They're running around, just walking a lot, getting hit for free. Kind of similar to what we've seen in the last 2 arcs.
I mean, some of the 75 DC guys were able to pick off some of these marches in blue here, but I mean,
this arc is I'm almost certain going over to the side of OWR.
I would
Something else up their sleeve.
characterize the 75 DC strategy as never let them know what your next move will be. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, chat, what are they going to do here? Like, I'm not sure. I guess go buildings. They took another one. Sky Altar flips.
They did flip the Sky Altar, and they did get back control of their own Desert Altar. I don't feel like they got nearly as much value out of this no mark as they did last time, though, unless they can really hold on to this Sky Altar over here.
Yeah, this is not enough.
It is not enough yet.
So what
They
else
need
can
more.
they do? They go bark
They
again?
They had an unsuccessful play on the OWR Desert Altar, which it looks like they're attempting again now. They really need to capture this altar, hold on to the Sky Altar. If they don't, again, like OWR has control right off the middle. They can insta-capture this if they want another arc, and by the looks of things, well, we haven't really seen 75DC go for a proper, like, okay, let's just send everyone mid and fight them head on. We haven't seen that yet from the side of 75DC, and there's one unrevealed skill on the side of 75DC, which could be to the death or something else. We don't know.
We don't know.
It could be master strategy or something else that's equally crazy. We don't know yet.
Never let them know your next move.
No.
I think the
The
issue
game is a lot
is...
closer score-wise than what it like seems like, though.
Let's look at the points per minute.
Yeah, I mean it's in
962.
favor of 75DC right now, and they have points ticking for the Sky Altar over here, of the OWR
Yeah.
Sky Altar, and they do have a lot of marches outside ready to reinforce it and try to defend this for a while. It looks like.
500 points per minute.
OWR's
Bro.
push is pretty disjointed back at this Sky Altar. They're sort of trickling in one by one, and it's not working out too well for them. And the OWR Desert Altar is also about to fall. So this structure play again might work out for the side of 75DC. It's a very close game we have on our hands here, Chess. It's gonna be very
75
interesting.
DC.
And
Like, actually insane at pushing structures. I mean, that's crazy
Yeah.
what they're doing with these structures, right? Like that...
yeah, they're playing a really good structure game.
I mean, it's been a minute since I queued an arc, but like last I checked, it's pretty unusual to hold all 4 altars for any amount of
Yeah.
time, and 75 DC keeps doing it.
We do have a very close game on our hands. Now,
This is
looking at the
extremely
provisions
close.
captured, it's 150 points for the side of OWR, 1.7k for the side of 75DC, which indicates that 75DC has sent home more provisioners than OWR. But as we spoke about, they have the arc, and they do have sort of control of the tempo of the game. This arc is still walking to the obelisk of OWR, which to me indicates that they don't want another arc, and that this will be the last arc. In which case, they really need to get back control of their structures on the side of OWR and make this as even as possible until they can capture this arc and make the arc push them over the finish line, right?
I feel like it's really bold to try to play structure game against 75 DC. Seeing what
Right.
we've seen so far, I think it is...
Time warp on OWR side. And I assume no mark is going to be cast? Yes, there it is.
Yep.
Oh! Look at the 75 DC Desert Altar. OWR captured it. OWR made, and they got their own altar back.
Ooh.
The structure game here might be working. And if they get their own Desert Altar back here, that's gonna swing the structure points back into their favor, especially with no mark, a fresh no mark ticking now for them. They really need to get their Desert Altar back here. And they have that arc as a failsafe that can push them over the finish line.
They're still down 200 points per
They're
minute.
still down.
now. 250. I mean,
They need these altars to start ticking in their favor.
yeah. The
And they
point diff
really
here
need
is
this
still
Desert
big.
Altar back. 75 DC is still in control of this Desert Altar over here.
This is such a close game. It's actually
It
pretty
is
crazy.
a very close game. OWR's pushes on their own Desert Altar are very, very disjointed. They're going in one by one. Just like we spoke about early in the game, right? With the Sun Sailor. You need to go as a group, even if the enemy has low marches and few marches. If you go in one march at a time, it's never going to work. It's never going to work.
Yeah. It's group and then move, not move and
Yes.
then group.
If you panic and just move, and move and just keep sending one more march as they get set faced, you're just going into a meat grinder over and over and over again. And it's going to take you way longer to get your structure back. Patience is the key on taking your structures back. You need to ball up and you need to go as a ball. If not, it's not going to work. It's going to take you way too long to get that structure back. Now, it does seem like they have gathered a decent presence to take their own Desert Altar back.
Big push going into the Sky Altar, though, in just a second here.
Yes.
And this is so
This is going to be a very
shockingly
close game.
close. The points per minute about
Oh.
even. About as close to even as it gets here.
Right. No mark is ticking for the side of OWR for a few more minutes.
When do we see
I
the final
believe-
skill here on the bar?
I don't know, maybe we're not gonna see it. The Desert Altar looks like it's gonna fall back into the favor of OWR here. But 75 DC held on to that for a long time. This Desert Altar has really been a weak point for the side of OWR this game. I feel like it's almost been held more by 75 DC than the side of OWR this game. But they did get it back now. And
Both sides
75
activated
DC
energetic?
Yes, both sides energetic. Now, we do see the full skill bar of OWR. They can't really pull anything crazy. They've used their time warp. They've used their second no mark, which means there's no more no mark for the side of OWR. They could use to the death or whatever for making fights more in their favor, I suppose. But I'm very interested in this last skill on the side of 75 DC.
What's it gonna be? It's gotta be Master Strategist, right? Like, that could be
They
to
did
the
capture
death,
the
though.
arc, and they have a 1.5k point lead right now. And they are up 300 points per minute on the side of OWR now. And I believe they're also yet to cash in their provisions. So I would say it's looking like it's in the favor of OWR, but still a very close game that can go in anyone's favor, I would say. But I would say OWR are pretty favored at this point, and they also did capture the enemy shrine alive over here.
What a game. This
What a game.
It is not over. Like, we still don't know who's gonna win.
It's been crazy, and we still don't know what the last skill point is for OWR, no, for 75 DC, and if they're gonna try to pull something crazy again.
Tokugawa Garrison down here. Like, kind of interested to see the battle report. Tokuhara. I was not expecting that.
I guess to support mixed troops.
Huh. Well, the chat's already thanking their lucky stars on whether or not they've won or lost coins. It's not over yet, y'all. It is not over yet.
It is definitely not over.
Here comes the rally on the Desert Altar.
Sun Sailor! 75 DC, Sun Sailor!
Ah, good timing. When Chiscool says it ain't over, and then they put down Sun Sailor.
OWR Sky Altar!
Huge. Actually huge. Now it takes time to load up, though, right? It's gotta
Yes,
warm up.
and they're
before
capturing
you
back
can
their
sail.
Shrine alive first, which looks like they're capturing back the Shrine alive and then using their Sun Sailor to get over to the OWR Sky Altar to make a play over there. It's looking tough. That rally is going... Oh, I guess the Sun Sailor maybe... I feel like the rally on the side of 75 DC is going early. I feel like it's going to die before they can get there.
Could be. Good defense here on the Shrine of Life by OWR. It's just holding these guys up for a long time.
Okay, so they're going to start heading towards the Sun Sailor now and try to make a play on the OWR Sky Altar. The rally is hitting already, which if the side of OWR can get this rally down before they can use this Sun Sailor and start swarming the structure, which is it looks like they can,
They
it's going to make this play a lot more difficult for the side
Or
of
can
75
they?
DC.
Oof.
Oh yeah, they can.
I mean,
That rally is
almost
toast.
just faster to walk, which is what a bunch of them are doing. I
Sun Sailor
know we
now
have this
coming
cool
through.
play. I'm just gonna hoof it. I'm not gonna make
But
it.
I don't think it's gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Oh.
I really commend the cooking on the side of 75 DC this game, but I have a feeling that if they just played this game out standard, it might have gone better for them.
What
Because they
would
have really, really strong in structures.
Yeah. What would make Solar Bark worth the 5 points. You think it was worth the 5 points in this match?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked out for them in either of the times that they ended up using it.
I would say that if this ability were cheaper or gave some sort of buff when you went through, maybe it could be worth the cost. But I don't feel like they've gotten the point value out of it.
No. And as we can see here, it's a 2,500 point lead, a bit more actually now, for the side of OWR. And I believe they also have not yet cashed in their provisioners, whilst the side of 75 DC looks like they have by the points.
Cast
it's
Desert
looking like-
Storm all the way over here. Oh,
Okay, so that was the last point on the side of 75 DC,
Desert
the last
Storm.
skill, Desert Storm.
yeah. I guess I wasn't expecting them to show their hand at the end of the game, you know? But
Right.
now we actually see what they had up their sleeve. And it was a Desert Storm. With a 3,000 point lead in the hands of OWR, 2 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock. It's looking pretty good for them.
It is looking very good for them indeed, Chiz, and I don't see at this point, unless they have some crazy provisions, but looking around the map, it does not look like it. I don't see how they can pull this game back into their favor now. I feel like they overcooked and it did not work. I really commend the attempt, especially at such a high-stake game. But it does seem like it did not work out in this case. But definitely made the game very unpredictable and a lot of fun watching, though. We'll see here in the last 2 minutes if they can pull something back out of the hat. But it does look like OWR with a 3,000 point lead now is amassing a solid point lead. And
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more than a rabbit to come out of that hat. it's going to be multiple tons of provisions to get out of this situation, and I just don't think that's there.
Yeah, I don't think it's there.
But we won't know until the final seconds, so we just have to wait and see, which is a part of the hype. So with the 3,000 point differential and a minute 30 left on the clock, will those points show up? I don't know. To your, I think, observation earlier, the most likely thing is that OWR has just held their provisioning for longer. Oh, these guys are barking their way over.
Oh, they're starting to cash in. OWR's provision score went up to 2,000 points now. 3,500 points for 75 DC in terms of provisions.
Yeah, this is the time to cash them in, but...
Yeah. Looking
Typically-
at the obelisks...
I mean, what's the most you'd expect to see in a game for provision?
There's big provisions coming in here.
Yeah,
On the side of
I see
OWR,
it.
I can see marches coming in now.
75 too.
Ooh, another 700 points on the side of OWR.
Oh yeah, look at that. See, it's oh my gosh, look at the scores just shooting up for both teams here. 3,200
Yeah, it's a 3,000 point lead.
4,600. Wow.
Almost. Oh, points went up even more for the side of 75 DC. They did have a lot of provisions. 5.3 thousand points right now.
Yeah.
But
no,
do
there's
they
a
have
ton of
another
provisioners
2,000
coming
plus
in.
points in their bag in this last 10 seconds here? I don't think so.
Woo! These guys cutting it close for getting home. Oh my goodness.
1,000 point lead!
I'm watching the points come in.
Wow! OWR take the victory!
Insane.
That was very close though, towards the end. If
Yeah.
OWR did not have provisions of their own there, 75 would have taken it. They
Holy.
had a lot more provisions than I anticipated.
They sure did.
6,500 points is an insane provision score.
That is monster. I mean, building
Wow.
plus that provision score, and like I can easily see how they would edge out opponents in a lot of these situations, but not OWR. Congratulations to them advancing to the next round. What an insane match by two incredibly skillful teams. Looking forward to seeing OWR in the finals. Any thoughts as we wrap this one up, Cortex?
I think OWR look extremely solid, as we can see. 75 DC with a really commendable attempt. I feel like their interesting strategies did not work out this game, but they still made the game very, very close and a very, very well played game by both teams. And I really look forward to seeing OWR in this final here, and I think they have a real shot at taking it all the way.
There it is. You enjoyed the stream, throw a like on it and subscribe. Big thank you to the makers of Rise of Kingdoms for inviting us to cast today on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel. I will be back casting in less than an hour from now. Cortex, you'll be playing. Good luck to you in your game.
Thank you.
Whew. What a match. All right. Subscribe. The next one promises to be hype as well. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. We'll see you in the next matches.